going on, guys? This is Gaming Minutes, the talk show about gaming. Today, we are covering another fan favorite at E3. It is No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky is definitely one of the top Sandbox games that is to come out. You guys might have heard of it because it has so many freaking planets in it. Like, it's literally 18 quintillion planets. Um, and that's like almost like 25 digits, I think it's what it is. But it's pretty freaking close, and to be honest, we can't wait to get our hands on it. We can't wait to explore, and to be honest, it just looks really cool as a sandbox game. For me personally, one of the aspects I'm looking forward to is definitely the fact that when you discover something, you can put your own name on it, and so that way, when other people visit it, they'll see the name that you put on it. So if I visit a planet and I name it Oompa Loompa, pro se. If I name it Oompa Loompa, then when people visit that planet, they'll see, oh look, I'm in Oompa Loompa right now, or something like that. Personally, we can't wait for this game. It was a huge unmasking when they showed it off at E3. People were just amazed. For those of you who did watch E3 and watched this portion of the conference, it was amazing when they started scrolling out on all the planets. You could just see galaxies after galaxies after galaxies. And I mean, it's huge how many planets they put in there. Um, No Man's Sky, definitely, it's an FPS in a way. It's an FPS slash sandbox. You can take your ship, fly to whatever planet you want to. You can gather resources, but be careful though, because there are police called Sentinel that will come after you if you take too many resources, and they'll try to hunt you down and that kind of thing. But definitely a very cool looking game. I mean, they spent a ton of time on this, even though I know the planets are computer generated, but it does take a lot of time to make a game like this. There's not only things going on the planets, there's also things going around in the galaxy. There's fighter jet battles going on outside of the planet's borders and that kind of thing. Um, there's battles everywhere on all the planets, and so for the number of planets in this game, there are 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 million, 709,500 or 700. That's million actually. 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73,709,551,616 planets. Jeez, that's a mouthful. But it is a huge sandbox, definitely by far the biggest of all time. Never seen a game like this. It was such a huge deal when they showed it off at E3. Now on release date, or not release date, but they are discussing maybe Morpheus and Oculus compatibility. Me personally, that would be a huge thing if you can actually like see it. If you turn your head and oh look, there's a tree up there, and oh there's some wildlife down there, and you can actually like visualize it with your eyes instead of just looking at the screen. That would be a huge upgrade to the game, and that's kind of what sandboxes are all about, is kind of discovering and doing your own thing. Now I did mention before that this is an FPS game. There are guns in it to like destroy resources. Like there's a laser gun that'll like extract the resource for you. Or you can also take down Sentinel when they come after you if you take too many resources and that kind of thing. Now I'm going to turn over to Brandon, who's going to talk a little bit more about the release date and that kind of thing and what to expect.
All right, so talking about No Man's Sky when it first started, it was first announced slash shown at E3 2014, and it didn't get much hype because it didn't show a lot. Although some reviewers actually thought it was going to be like the best game at E3 2014, but of course we all know that another game took it. And then at E3 2015 during the PS4 conference was when it went completely like insane. People loved it.
But this is definitely a PS4 game, right? This is a PS4 dominant game.
PC, so but it's gonna be mainly PS4 oriented.
So will there be different release dates for like? Will it be earlier for PS4 and then Xbox One will get the game later?
Currently, there's no news about Xbox One release, and most likely PS4 and PC. It will come out on both of those on the same day. And also, they originally at E3 2015 they said that they're gonna release more news at Gamescom, which I think is happening right now. So we could get a release date then. They also said it was gonna be soon. And if you take other games from E3, they usually come out 2 years after their first like glimpse, which is 2014. So probably early 2016,
I believe
early
that they mentioned
2016.
2016 spring though, didn't they? They mentioned something about
Well,
spring of
that is
2016.
considered half like quarter 1, quarter 2 for games.
Uh-huh.
So that is technically considered early 2016. But then again, it's a massive game, so they might just want to wait a little bit to make it like a really amazing game that people love to stream, love to play, and then possibly get a sequel.
Yeah, this is definitely the one thing though, the one drawback to this game though is definitely that it's not a multiplayer based game. It's more of a single player, do your own thing. They did say that it is all going to be in one big server. I don't think it's going to be like a computer players could play with Xbox One players or Xbox One could play with PS4, but I think that they're gonna that within the game, as long as it's on the same platform, and if you go to the exact same planet, which is like extremely hard in my opinion to go find the exact planet to, and then you can meet up with your friends. You will experience other players, but it's going to be very rare, depending on how many people play this game. Um, and I mean, since there's so many planets, people are going to be trying to just discover the planets. And I think, to be honest, a really cool statistic is that Brendan, correct me here on this, but I think they said it would take how many years to discover like all planets, even for just like 1 second.
I want to say they said it was if you want to see every planet, it would.
Yeah,
I
for
think they
one
said something
second.
like 1,000 years or something.
For how many years? You cut out there for a second.
1,000 years, I think they said.
1,000 years?
There's
Yeah,
something
dude. Like
around
it
that.
would
I mean,
take
there's
forever to
obviously
discover every
no way
planet.
to like fully
So even just
calculate it.
so even just on that statistic alone, even if you visit for 1 second, it would take you 1,000 years to do that. And so, to be honest, it's gonna be very hard to find other players in it. That's just like the one drawback, though. But overall, they did a very good job on this game. It'd be nice though if you could like teleport to like other players and then like do your own thing with them. But like make it like only your friends. That way, like random people aren't teleporting you, or maybe incorporate something that like they would have to ask for permission, and then you can like accept their teleport request.
To add on to what you're saying about how there's no multiplayer, but you can see signs of other people's work. Some other games are starting to include that. If you guys have heard of Mirror's Edge 2, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, they're kind of adding the same thing because that's not a multiplayer game, but you'll be able to see signs of other people playing the game and what they've done in it. So this is like the first game to do that, and expect many other games to kind of copy, not copy, but use the same
Yeah.
technique future games.
Definitely, I really like the thing about the planets. I can go to discover it and also name it. But I am looking on some websites right now, and they did mention that there's not going to be any DLC, no season pass. For the ships, there's not going to be any customization. And as for the wildlife, there will not be riding any dinosaurs or that kind of thing when you discover them. You can, and also, it's not just planets that if you discover them, it's also species. If you're the first one to see an animal, that's whether it's marine wildlife or actual on land, you can also name them too. It's everything that you see, tree species, everything in the game can be named after whatever you name it.
Also, many people have claimed it to be basically Minecraft in space. So even if they say no season pass, no DLCs, they could do the same thing as Minecraft, where they just update it and add a bunch of other stuff. So even though the base game looks amazing, you could expect to see like a huge free expansion come out.
One thing though is that there's nothing that you can really build per se. And I mean, there's not too much customization in it because they really focused on more of the discover aspect. You can't like customize your character, no ship customization. You can't build like a space station. Um, and to be honest, you could get so bored at some point. It's not going to be, oh, I'm going to sit here for 24 hours discovering. I mean, to be honest, if I'm just sitting there discovering planets, eventually, like this is something to do like every once in a while, kind of, just like take your mind off things and go try new things and discover.
It's a fun game to play if you don't have any friends on, or
Yeah,
you
like if
just
you're
don't
just by
want to
yourself.
game that they're playing.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's going to go ahead and conclude it for No Man's Sky. Overall, we anticipate it to be a very good single-player game. Don't expect too much multiplayer-wise, but it's definitely a very cool sandbox, biggest of all time. Don't expect too much on the customization end. However, overall, we probably give it a very positive rating. Definitely, they did spend a lot of time on it, and we can't wait to play it. That'll be the video, guys. That's Gaming Minutes for No Man's Sky. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe below. Thank you. See you guys next video.